said to me to live by pretty much. My family, I have a lot of people who've been through a lot of shit, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't easy for them. They're first generation Mexicans here in America and they just want to create a better life for them. And me being the first nephew of the family, I got a lot from everybody, you know what I mean? Everybody was telling me things. Everybody was just trying to make me become a great man, right? Because I was the first nephew. So everybody was just kind of feeding me little things here and there, and I took it all in. And luckily, I have a great fucking family, and they've been through a lot of shit, and they don't want me to go through that shit, right? They want our family, our last name to grow. I feel like that's what a lot of Latino families want for their family, you know what I mean? What some OGs once told me. And alright, so this isn't in any order specifically. I'll probably make it a series because there's a lot of shit that I've been told, a lot of things that I think a lot of people can benefit from, and this can help. So maybe I'll turn it into a series. But for now, we'll just start this shit off, you know? So number one, moms told me this. Don't ever let a woman disrespect you. If she yells at you, hits you, calls you names, or makes you feel less than, kick her to the curb. You know what I mean? Like, that's not cool. And that goes for women as well. If a man hits you, if a man cusses at you, if she makes you feel less than, like tell him to get stepping, or you take yourself out of the situation. Because I have a sister and that's just not cool, you know what I mean? Growing up, I was kind of like, I kind of felt like I needed to be a protector of my mom and my sister, you know? Because my dad was always working, so I had to be that protector when we were out, we were at the stores, we were at the malls, you know what I mean? I always felt like I had to be protecting them, you know what I mean? But yeah, don't ever let nobody cuss you out, you know, make you feel less than, hit you, disrespect you. And if she does, like, bro, get stepping, like, that ain't for you. You know, you don't want that stress, you don't need all that bullshit. Like, you need somebody that respects you, that wants to be with you, that doesn't want to turn you into somebody you're not, you know what I mean? So yeah, don't ever let nobody disrespect you. This one Pops told me, if there's money on the table, take that shit, mijo. So what that means is, if there's an opportunity to make money to better yourself financially, do it. No matter what it is. If it's overtime, if it's doing something hard, no matter what it is, go for it, bro. Like, my Pops, he wasn't around for the beginning of my life a lot because he was always fucking working, you know what I mean? And for me, I always knew that shit. Like, I always knew Pops was working, so he couldn't come to this, he couldn't come to that. And it never really made me feel like, oh, like my dad's not around, or oh, everybody else's dad's here. I don't know, for me, I always understood, like, we don't really have a lot of money right now. Pops has to go to work, he has to make the money, you know? And I feel like a lot of people maybe, and I understand, like, people's dads leave them for bad reasons, but it's like, if your Pops was out and working hard for your family, doing shit for your family to better them, like, don't be hating on his ass, bro. Don't be like, oh, my dad wasn't home for this, my dad wasn't home for that. Like, that's fucked up, bro. He was doing some great shit for you guys. He was putting money, he was putting food on the table, he was putting a house over your heads. Like, be grateful for that shit, you know? But yeah, if there's money on the table, take that shit. Number three, this one is from my grandpa. He was like, don't be flashy with your shit. If you got cash, put your big bills in the middle and have the little bills on the outside so nobody knows if you got a lot of money or not. Don't be talking big about your money. Don't be like, I got this much money, I got that, I got this car, I got that car, I got houses. That makes you a target, you know what I mean? Flashing your shit, like, you don't even be doing that shit. And I mean, once you start like buying stuff and you start making your own money and stuff, like, it's hard to do that because, like, as Hispanics or as like people who never really had a lot of money growing up, it's like you have this and you're like, oh, I want to show it off, I want to show it off, you know what I mean? But try to be humble with that shit, right? Number four. This was from my great grandma and my grandma. They never really spoke much. They were much more like showing rather than speaking, right? Just love your family for who they are. Take care of your family. Be the peace for your family. No matter what it is, be the person that they can come to you for. You know what I mean? All the men in my family, like, they had to work the fields. They had to do a lot of overtime. They had to even work when they weren't at work. You know, they were trying to build this name for ourselves. They were trying to create a better life for our entire family. So that shit's tough, bro. You know what I mean? So they loved them. They were like, always made sure they had clean clothes. Always made sure they had food to eat. They were ready to relax. This was a place of home. This was home for them. This is a place where they didn't have to think about all the other shit going on. All they had to think about was this family here, and that's it, you know? And that's what it's all about, it's just family. And like, for me, like a little story on this is, I was always like a little chunky kid, and I was insecure about my fat. And I know this is a dumb story about it, but like, it kind of is still, it's something that I remember, right? I had messed up my back somehow. I don't remember what it was, but I never liked taking off my shirt in front of anybody. So I went to my grandma for it, and she was like rubbing some lotion on my back, giving me some type, like kind of like a massage. And that was like one of the very only times that I ever took off my shirt, and I really didn't like care, you know, because she always just showed love and passion, always like love and like, never gonna judge, like don't judge, just love your family for who they are, don't try to change them to something they're not. Be the peace for your family, you know? Number 5. This is from my grandma, and if anybody from my family is watching this, they're gonna know this saying. Diles, like, this is with girls, alright? So she's always like, diles que sí, pero no les digas cuándo. So that means tell them yeah, but don't tell them when, right? So she always tell me this. She always tell all the guys in our family, she would always tell this to. And what I got out of it was like, tell them yeah, like yeah, we'll go out, we'll do this, but don't tell them when. Like, you got other shit to take care of. You gotta make money, you gotta go work, you gotta take care of all this other stuff. And then I feel like that's a great way of putting it, bro. Like, you gotta build your own shit. You gotta figure out your own shit before you can even go and get a girl, before you can only fully love a person for who they are, for what they are, you know? Do your own growth, your own personal healing. Don't give them your attention right away. Go and heal yourself, and then come and be like, all right, well, I'm ready for this. Cool, then we can do it.
Me la paso rolando, fumando por la cuadra voy zumbando. Con la clica en la troca siempre me miran quemando. Ojos bien luz, me dicen el diablo.